Hot smoked salmon is delicious and I want some. Under quarantine, it's not that easy to get though. I don't have a smoker, I don't have any wood chips, and the only salmon I have is from Aldi in my freezer. I think we can figure this out. It turns out smoked salmon isn't hard to make at all. If you got a grill, some salmon, scrap wood, and a good attitude, you can be eating salmon 24 hours from now. Home smoked salmon, fresh home smoked salmon, is one of the best tastes, period. It's definitely worth giving a try, and the process is really simple. We're going to brine the salmon, then we're going to dry it, and then we're going to smoke it. Seems pretty simple? Let's get started. We're going to start with 2 kilograms of room temperature water. To that, we're going to whisk in 200 grams of salt and 100 grams of sugar. This is our super simple salmon brine. It seasons the flesh of the fish and allows us to keep the moist, flaky texture when we go to hot smoke this. We're going to brine this fish for 2 hours in the refrigerator. Once that fish has been in the fridge for 2 hours, we're going to drain it off and set it up on a sheet tray to dry in the fridge. This is really where you can see that this fish is from Aldi. $4.99 gives us something delicious and wild caught, but it's also pretty beat up from processing. We're going to put this salmon in the fridge overnight to dry out, so the flesh can form what we call a pellicle. This is a protein layer that's formed on the outside of the flesh when it's exposed to air for an extended period of time. It's very important when we're smoking anything, whether it's bacon or fish, to take this step. If we wanted our fish to taste like an ashtray, we would go straight from the brine to the smoker. When we do that, the moisture steams the outside of the fish, makes it taste kind of carcinogenic and like a butt. Okay, we gotta tackle the wood part of this real quick. So I don't have any wood chips, but I do have a pile of some wood scraps. Not just any wood will do. You don't wanna use pressure treated lumber, but if you have something softwood, cedar, pine, that will work too. I happen to have some cedar scraps. They're weird shape. I'm just gonna use my saw here to cut them down, and we're gonna soak them overnight so that they get saturated with water. They burn a lot slower this way, and they actually produce smoke instead of just burning. We want them to kind of smolder at a low temp. So we've got the wood figured out. Let's check on this fish. So we've got our dried fish and our soaked cedar. We're gonna be taking our fish and putting it over a tray of ice to help cool down the air around the fish and cook it more slowly. Now we're gonna turn our grill into a smoker. We're gonna fill a chimney starter about a quarter full and get that fired. We want just enough coals to smolder the cedar. That takes about 15 minutes to get going, and then we're gonna dump that into the left side of our grill. Right on top of that goes our smoked cedar, and then we're gonna tuck the salmon over the ice into the right side. I come back 5 minutes later just to make sure that this thing isn't burning too hot. I also keep a water spray bottle at hand. If it gets too hot, you can spray it right on the coals and bring it down by about 100 degrees or so. It looks like we've got a good temp and we've got a good draw with our smoke, so it should take about 30 minutes to hot smoke this fish. Okay, salmon primer. 2 types, farmed and wild. Farm salmon is cheaper and available all year round, but there's some environmental impact stuff and it's less flavorful. Wild is great, super flavorful, but not very sustainable, expensive, and not available all year round. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do. You can spend anywhere from $6 to $26 a pound on salmon. I'm using $4.99 a pound, pink salmon from Aldi. I love it. I think it's a great deal. Tastes kind of like trout. Anyways, let's get back to it. So the way I think we're gonna eat this salmon today is gonna be Nicoise style. That means we're gonna have some cooked potatoes, some hard-boiled eggs, and I'm gonna make some pickled red onions as well. A really simple red wine vinaigrette dressing is gonna finish it off. So I'm just gonna show you here some of the background steps. For hard-boiled eggs, I cook them for 11 minutes to get a nice gelled center and then just cool them down in the sink under cold running water. For our pickled onions, we're just gonna slice a whole red onion, pole to pole, thinly, and then we're gonna throw it into our pickle brine, which is 200 grams water, 200 grams white distilled vinegar, 40 grams sugar, and a strong pinch of salt. This is just a quick pickle. The onions should be ready by the time they cool down. These keep in the fridge for weeks. These are some small skin-on waxy potatoes that I'm cooking at a rolling boil for about 15 minutes and then cooling all the way down before I put in my salad. And for our vinaigrette, I'm going with 1 tablespoon of nice French grainy mustard. To that, I'm gonna be adding salt, pepper, 2 tablespoons of nice red wine vinegar, and then I'm going to be whisking in a 1/4 cup or about 4 to 5 more tablespoons of olive oil. You're going to want to taste this, make sure that it's balanced. You want a good amount of acid. The more oil you add, the more mellow this dressing will be. It's mid-April now, so there's baby leaves in the garden that are just popping, just getting ready to harvest. So we're gonna hop out there, we're gonna grab some mizuna, some baby leaf mustard, some arugula, and some dill. We're gonna throw a wash on that, and that's gonna be our salad blend. I'm assembling all my ingredients for this salad here. This is gonna serve 2. You need about 12 ounces or 1 clamshell's worth of fresh greens. We're gonna use 6 ounces of our smoked salmon, 8 to 10 waxy marble potatoes cooked and cooled, 2 ounces of pickled red onion, and 2 hard-boiled eggs, as well as our dressing. So let's plate this up. Are you laughing at me? Why? We did it. Hot smoked salmon at home with almost no gear. We smoked it on the grill, we did a little bit of an overnight brine, and we ate it on some salad. I hope this recipe gives you the inspiration to try it yourself at home. If you got any value out of this, please hit subscribe. Leave me some comments down below, let me know how it turned out for you. See you around next time.